What if the Star Wars universe met the Marvel universe within Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness? What if Doctor Strange and America Chavez, when falling through universes, landed within the Star Wars universe instead of landing on Earth 838? How would that change the events of the movie Multiverse of Madness, and how would that change the Skywalker saga? Well, here's what I think would happen. This fanfiction starts right after Wanda Maximoff easily dispatched of Sorcerer Supreme Wong, and then shortly after Doctor Strange himself, and she has America right where she wants her and begins to draw her power. As America is getting closer to death, she gets scared, screams, and opens a star portal, and Doctor Strange regains consciousness and tackles her through it. They begin to fall through many different universes, but this time one more than originally, as they don't land on 838, they pass through it, and instead they land in a dark alleyway. The two get to their feet, and as they're walking out of the alleyway, they see many burn scores on the walls and remnants of orange powders on the floor. America says to Strange, just like in the original movie, "I'm surprised you didn't puke," and Doctor Strange replies saying, "This isn't my first crazy trip." He then proceeds to throw up over the edge of level 1313 of the Coruscant underworld. After this, Strange and America discuss their plans similar to the movie itself, only this time they're not sure if they're even on a variation of Earth, therefore don't know if they will be able to find a variant of Doctor Strange. But of course the only way to know this is to look around, so they continue walking. Suddenly a man drops down, breaking their fall with a jetpack, and they say to Doctor Strange, "This cycle I'm 0-1 with the Jedi, so I'd like to even the score." Strange responds to a young, armoured Boba Fett, sarcastically saying, "Very funny," as Strange assumed calling him Jedi was just an insult to his attire, as Doctor Strange is dressed relatively similar to the Jedi. Strange also asks, "Aren't you a bit young for this line of business?" And Boba says, "Well, you tell me if I seem inexperienced," as he draws his fire upon America, identifying her as the clear weak link out of the two of them, but Strange quickly uses his sling ring to open a portal right in front of America, catching all of the blaster bolts and opening a second one right to her side, sending the blaster bolts back towards Boba Fett, and after dodging a few of them, Boba is struck on the helmet, leaving a dent in it and leaving him unconscious. Strange and America come to the conclusion that, given their experience on the lower levels of Coruscant, the upper levels is probably the nicer place to be, so they decide to ascend. As they reach the top level of Coruscant, they see the Jedi Temple, and Doctor Strange is in disbelief, as with his photographic memory, he easily identified the temple as the Jedi Temple from having watched the prequel trilogy. Strange is stood in shock, and America asks Strange what's wrong, as she is yet to see him so shocked, and he replies that this universe is supposed to be fake, it's supposed to be fictional, there's literally movies made about it. Strange then adds, "There may not be a Doctor Strange here, but there is some people that we should meet." And right on cue, Coruscant's equivalent of a taxi driver stops by in their speeder, offering a lift to the temple, again assuming that Strange is a Jedi, and also assuming that their ship had crashed or something. They arrive at the temple, and the driver says to Strange, "I know you Jedi don't carry around too many credits, so I'll bill this one to the Republic." Now, Master Yoda and many other Jedi in the Jedi Temple are all in meditation as they arrive, but they sense a deep disturbance in the Force, and Darth Sidious feels it too. Both Sidious and Yoda sense something unusual about this disturbance, something different, something neither of them are familiar with, and this confuses Yoda, and it concerns him as he fears that it's something related to the growing power of the Sith. But Palpatine smiles and is intrigued by this, as it may be something that he can manipulate to benefit his grand plan. Now, Strange and America enter the Jedi Temple, and shortly after they are in a meeting with the Jedi Council. Strange informs the Jedi Council about America's power to travel universes and how it forms out of fear, and how this portal opened because Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch, wanted to steal her power so that she could travel to a different universe so that she could be with her children. Strange also informs them about how the Darkhold has corrupted Wanda and was originally a good person and an Avenger, and Yoda then compares the corruptive powers of the Darkhold to the corruptive powers of the dark side of the Force. Adi Mundi doesn't believe Strange in America's story, but Yoda and Mace and other strong members of the Jedi Order can sense America's raw power and the fear that she feels when they are speaking of Wanda, so they decide that the two of them can stay at the Jedi Temple for the time being, as maybe they can help America to harness her power to get them back to their original universe. The next day, America meets with Yoda and he gets her to meditate, giving her the same advice that any Jedi would be given to help them use the Force. She must clear her mind, focus only on the desired outcome of using her power, she must remember what it felt like to last use her power and try to feel the same thing again and to visualize it happening. But of course, it is to no success because America doesn't yet believe that she can actually control her power. One night, Palpatine reaches out in the Force, reaching into America's mind, and in her mind, Palpatine sees visions of Wanda Maximoff and how powerful she is, how America's powers form from fear, and he also hears Wanda's reasoning to why she wants to kill America and take her power. He also hears Wong tell the prophecy of the Scarlet Witch and how she can rewrite reality. Palpatine comes to the conclusion that the ability to rewrite reality may be the key to immortality that he's been seeking, so he kidnaps America Chavez and takes her to one of his secret facilities on Coruscant. He ties America up and begins to unleash a low level of force lightning on her, gradually increasing its strength until eventually she lets out a scream, opening a portal right next to Wanda, because as we know, her portals open exactly where they need to, and this portal needed to open next to Wanda, otherwise Palpatine would have kept up his force lightning and eventually would have killed America Chavez. Wanda walks through the portal, seeing only one man between her and what she wants, so she charges up a ball of chaos magic energy within her hands and tells Palpatine to get out of the way in a very strong Sokovian accent. Palpatine uses the Force to contain Wanda's hands, keeping her chaos energy contained, as he tells her, "I can give you everything you want, as well as everything that you don't realize you need, as long as you give me something first." He then tells her how he is the one that forced America to open up this portal to bring Wanda to this universe, and then offers the deal: kill the entirety of the Jedi Council with him, as they are the least likely to die from Order 66, in return for free reign at America's powers and the knowledge of his former master. Wanda asks why she should care for such knowledge, and Palpatine replies, "Because your children's lives may depend on it." He then adds how his former master was Darth Plagueis, and Darth Plagueis was a Dark Lord of the Sith, so powerful and so wise that he could manipulate the very cells of the body to create life and to keep the ones he cared about from dying. And still in her Sokovian accent, Wanda replies, "I accept." Now while this is happening, Yoda had awoken from his sleep, sensing America's fear, and he gathered several Jedi Council members as well as Doctor Strange to go and save America Chavez, as he feared that Darth Sidious was behind it. Palpatine lets off a fake distress call to his and Wanda's exact location in order to bring the Jedi to them, but Anakin Skywalker says how he senses that this is a trap, as he says that if it was Darth Sidious that stole America Chavez, there is no chance that she would have been able to escape, and let off a distress call. He then asks, what are they to do next? Obi-Wan replies saying, "Spring the trap," just like he did in Revenge of the Sith, and Doctor Strange opens up a portal to the exact origin of the distress call. Himself, Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Yoda, Mace Windu, Plo Koon, Kit Fisto, and Adi Mundi all walk through the portal, and they see a mysterious cloaked figure standing next to Wanda Maximoff. Strange initiates a conversation with Wanda, although he's sure there is not much room to reason with her, and Yoda does the same with Palpatine, mentioning how he's been waiting for their eventual meeting. Strange tells Wanda to set America free and says that they can figure out how to get back to their universe together, and Wanda replies saying, "You know exactly why that can't happen. She is too weak to control her power," and as her eyes start to glow red, she shouts, "She doesn't deserve it." A big fight breaks out with Yoda, Plo Koon, Adi Mundi, and Doctor Strange against Wanda, and Anakin, Obi-Wan, Mace Windu, and Kit Fisto against Palpatine. Wanda fires a huge energy blast to each of her 4 opponents, and they each counter it in a different way. Yoda uses Tutuminus to absorb the power, Strange blocks it with one of his conjured Eldritch energy shields, Plo Koon matches it with his Force Judgment, and Adi Mundi blocks it with his lightsaber, which causes it to flicker. Wanda is confused by this, so she fires another attack just towards Adi Mundi, identifying him as the clear weak link, and his lightsaber retracts, causing him to be burnt up by Wanda's power, and he dies like many of the sorcerers in the original timeline from Wanda's attack on Kamar Taj. Palpatine, fighting with his 2 lightsabers, also significantly targets the weaker links, quickly dispatching of Kit Fisto after just a couple strikes, and is now focusing on Obi-Wan. Yoda returns Wanda's attack on him right back at her, which allows Plo Koon's Force Judgment to break through Wanda's attack and strike Wanda, and he continues to shoot the yellow lightning towards her. Wanda yells in pain until she eventually calms it, controls the pain, and channels it to absorb the Force Judgment, and lets off a huge blast of both Chaos Magic and the absorbed Force Judgment, knocking Plo Koon off off balance and then quickly attacks Doctor Strange, who began to move towards America. And this fight continues in a very similar pattern. Back to the Palpatine fight, and Anakin is getting more and more enraged throughout it, as he remembers all that Darth Sidious was responsible for throughout his life, and now knowing that that was Palpatine, someone that he considered a close friend. But Palpatine still managed to evade a strike from Anakin and Mace Windu, enabling him to strike Obi-Wan Kenobi, disarm him, and attempt to finish him off, but Anakin managed to block both of Palpatine's lightsabers. Palpatine then retracts one of his sabers, freeing up an arm to send a bolt of Force lightning towards Obi-Wan Kenobi, knocking him unconscious after sending him flying across the room as Obi-Wan attempted to reclaim his disarmed saber. Palpatine, now having to focus on Anakin and Mace Windu rather than the Jedi significantly weaker than him, is significantly on the back foot, as he was previously moving around a lot to open up attacks on Kit Fisto and Obi-Wan Kenobi, but he now can't do that, and he does have to focus on the extremely skilled and powerful Mace Windu and Anakin Skywalker. In the original Star Wars timeline, he struggled against Mace Windu alone, but now an angry Chosen One is also present. Wanda, now getting frustrated with not being able to overcome Yoda's 2-, shoots a blast of her chaos magic purely at Yoda and Yoda alone, and Yoda again resists it with his 2-, but his fingers start to turn black as the chaos magic begins to corrupt his body, as he's been in contact with it for too long. Plo Koon and Strange are quick to react to this as they ready an attack to distract her from Yoda, but she fires a second burst, but Strange quickly blocks it for the both of them. During the fight, Doctor Strange calls out that he needs a distraction to be able to free America, so Yoda and Plo Koon hold Wanda still in the air with the Force, as Strange conjures some discs to throw at the four corners of the machine holding America, which sets her free, and she runs behind Doctor Strange, Yoda, and Plo Koon. Wanda is still being held by Yoda and Plo, so Strange uses this opening to try and put everyone into the mirror dimension to limit any destruction that Wanda can inflict on this reality. While this is happening, Palpatine managed to slip under one of Mace's swings, taking off the Jedi's hand in the process, and Force pushes him across the room. Wanda breaks free of Yoda and Plo's hold and strikes the mirror dimension just like Thanos did in Infinity War, causing it to shatter, and she sends the broken mirror shards flying towards everyone. The shards hit Mace Windu mid-air, killing him, as well as Plo Koon, who was too slow to react. But Yoda managed to stop the shards mid-air with the Force. Doctor Strange's cloak of levitation tackled him and America to the floor to avoid the shards, which is also how the unconscious Obi-Wan wasn't struck, and Anakin also managed to stop the shards with the Force. Strange, whilst down on the floor, speaks to America, saying how they clearly aren't going to defeat Wanda themselves, so in order to win, they must save Wanda from the Darkhold. He gives a similar speech to what he said in the Multiverse of Madness, saying that America can control her power, she just doesn't know it, as every time she's opened a portal, they have gone to the right place. America asks what about the portal that led Wanda here, and Strange replies telling her that that was the only way to get us to where we are right now, where you're going to use your power exactly how you want to. What Strange means is that having this fight against Wanda was the exact catalyst to get America Chavez to be able to control her powers. While this is happening, Yoda and Wanda are having a telekinetic battle with all of the shards that Yoda caught with the Force, as Wanda is trying to force all of them forward into Yoda to kill Yoda. Obi-Wan regains consciousness, quickly realizing what is happening, and aids Yoda in holding off Wanda. This allows Yoda to turn and speak to America, and he adds on what he had previously told her during their meditation, telling her to clear her mind and focus on the desired destination of her portal. Anakin gathers all of the shards that he caught together into a small thin line and fires them all directly at one of Palpatine's hands, slicing it off. Wanda, realizing that she can't overpower both Yoda and Obi-Wan at the same time, ditches the shards and slams the Jedi, Doctor Strange, and America Chavez, all trying to get back to their feet, right back down to the floor, and she starts to drain America's power whilst holding them all in place. Yoda manages to get off a big Force push on Wanda, putting her off balance, which frees him, Obi-Wan, Strange, and America, and Strange conjures one of his Eldritch Whips, pulling Wanda towards America as she punches her, smashing open a portal right behind her, but Wanda immediately restarts her draining of America's power. Almost immediately after this, children screaming can be heard as Billy and Tommy can see a struggling, beat up, out of breath Yoda, Obi-Wan, and Doctor Strange, as well as an evil version of their mother slowly killing a small girl, that being America Chavez, and the events play out the same as the movie, with Wanda eventually realizing her mistakes and realizing that she is, in fact, a monster. Anakin is now destroying Palpatine, as every strike is bringing Palpatine closer to defeat, as he's trying to fend off a much more physically strong Anakin Skywalker, whilst only having one hand on his lightsaber, compared to Anakin's double-handed swings. Wanda, whilst crying, turns towards Palpatine and unleashes her rage upon him, holding him still and stopping him from moving back from Anakin's onslaught. Yoda shouts across towards Skywalker, giving him the nod, giving him permission to end Darth Sidious's life, as he is thinking exactly what Mace Windu thought in Revenge of the Sith. He is too dangerous to be left alive. Wanda lifts Palpatine up in the air, throwing him towards Anakin, and Anakin slices through his body. The dust settles, and Strange in America thank the Council for their help and give their condolences for those lost in the fight. Wanda also apologizes for what she has done, and Yoda responds to her saying that it takes great strength. Actually, I think it's more likely that he would say, great strength it takes to break free from corruption. Fought well you have. The right thing you did in the end, and in doubt that never was, which mirrors what Doctor Strange told Wanda himself at the start of the movie. Yoda then adds, family, attachment, and love are all great things, but stop us sometimes from thinking clearly they do. Think of this as failure, but learn from it you must. And hearing those words, Anakin is deep in thought, thinking about the many mistakes he had made when Padme was on his mind.